Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Abrazo Football Podcast. I'm Blaine. We got Brooks today, as usual, and we're going to go through the last week of this World Cup competition in Qatar. It was a sad round. A lot of good teams fell. A lot of favorites are no longer in contention for the cup. I'm hurt. I'm wearing all black. Brooks is happy his team is still in the competition, but we lost England. We lost Brazil. We lost the Netherlands. Only one of those teams had a legitimate chance, but those Croatian crooks took some of the best years of my life away from me. I don't even know what to do about it. That being said, let's get straight into it, Brooks. Where do we want to start the conversation today?
I mean, I guess let's start where your heart was with Brazil, Croatia. Because I was texting you, I was actually at a friend's house and it was 0-0. I'm like, I'm going to go home. So I look it up and leave. 20 minutes later, I get a text from you and him, and it's just like, phone starts blowing up. Neymar scores. They think they're going through. Then I see Croatia scores. By the time I got home, it was the start of the penalties. So,
Bro, obviously Croatia's a good team. Brazil's a good team. They were in contention. It was a tight game. Neymar proves all the haters wrong. A solo goal, dribbles through like four defenders, puts it away, hits them with the whatever. Everybody's happy. I'm like, okay, we lit. We got this. Coach starts moving pieces around. Counterattack. Croatia puts it away. It's going to penalties, and you already know. When it's going to penalties, and you got a team with experience, and you got a 20-year-old Rodrigo taking penalties, you know how it's going to go. It's something about these vets in these penalty shootouts, even though something else that comes along later in the conversation probably going to change this. But, Rodrigo, he wasn't gonna. It's a lot of pressure for a kid. And then Marquinhos missed it. It came down to a shootout, right? They just couldn't get it done. It broke my heart. But I respect Croatia. They kept the belief. They kept going. I don't know. Like, I would have broken somebody's leg on the field before I let them have that counterattack. I don't know how they let that happen, but it is what it is. Neymar will never win a World Cup, and it breaks my heart. I at least wanted him to go to the final. Take your chances. Take your chances. Also, Portugal went out. They went out the wrong way. And this is all I'm going to say. So, Brazil went out on penalties. There's no shame in that. It's kind of like the flip of a coin, but the shame is the game should have never been drawn. Portugal goes out to Morocco. Shout out to the Moroccans. I love it. I love it.
love it.
Did the coach get it wrong? He puts this young Benfica kid in. He gets a hat trick, right? Okay. He thinks he's lit. Ronaldo, you on the bench. You ain't playing for us. And then we lose to Morocco. You beating your chest talking that talk. We better off without him. He's washed up. You can't beat Morocco? No disrespect to Morocco. That's all I'm going to say. You lose to Morocco, and now, arguably one of the best players that's ever done it can't be implicated because he didn't play a significant role in the loss. But you still lost to Morocco playing a virtually unknown striker. That's all. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at that.
All right, so real quick, Grace keeps asking me, like, who... She's like, I understand that Morocco, like, this is incredible for them. Like, this is awesome. But who plays for Croatia that they, were in the 2018 finals, that they are consistently going through? And it's hard because I'm like, well, they got Luka Modric. Oh, they got Perisic. And it's hard to, like, because none of these guys, aside from, I guess, Luka Modric, is really like a household name. It's not like, no, chill, because they got your Chelsea boy. But especially, like, I love Perisic. For me, he's, aside from Modric, he's the best player on that team. But he's a little old. He was in Italy most of his career. Now he's at, the wrong side of London.
Yeah.
So how do you explain This is how I explained Croatia. I'm like, yo, when you're just playing like whether it's like an indoor league or even just like five aside, and you got all your boys, and you come up against these like when we were younger, these guys, older guys, 30s, 40s, whatever, a little bit overweight. You think you got them easily handled, but they might not be the most athletic or the quickest, but something mentally with that Croatian side, they just know it's like that old man wisdom where they just know how to wear you down and get
Yeah,
past you.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree. I agree with that. And yeah, I mean, they're not. Most of them aren't household names, but
Yeah.
they're Balkan warriors. Like I
Yeah.
like, okay, Luka Modric, even Perisic. But back then they had Ivan Rakitic, my man's
Yeah.
Mateo Kovacic,
He's
right?
still there.
Mario Mandzukic, right? All like, and then
Yeah, but he's not there either.
well, he's
No.
not here now, but they got you know other guys who all their names sound similar, and it's hard for me to say them. But they're not household names, but they are ballers.
They
And I
are
mean,
ballers.
and I'll say this much: like like when I play like pickup around here, like sometimes I'll play with guys from like the countries that are formerly known as Yugoslavia, like those Eastern European types, and then also some Middle Eastern guys. And I'm like, yeah, they're not household names, and maybe they don't have like the look that the cosmopolitan football world's looking for. So it's like maybe they don't get the contract, so they don't get signed. But these guys they're tough. They got stamina like a freight train, and they can
Yeah.
ball. So it's like, and then it's like, okay, you don't know. It's like, oh yeah, like this guy. Let's just say like Vlahovic. He's not Croatian, but like he has a Croatian name, so I'm gonna say. It. But like a guy like him, like okay, he doesn't look like he's gonna ball you up. But then he
No,
starts
especially with his
playing you like,
haircut.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my god, like what's happening? Like who is this person? And then like he hits a screamer from 40 yards out. It's like, what can I do now? It's like, well, like
Yeah.
all the finesse in the world, these guys got like cold blood. I don't know. It's just like those type of guys, like yeah, they're not like superstars. Like even Luka Modric, it's like you look at him, it's like he wears the number 10. He is a household name because of who he is, but
Yeah.
he's not like a
And who he
superstar
plays for.
superstar. And who
No.
he plays for, but it's like Luka Modric walking down the street, like he's probably not gonna get mobbed. Like
No.
say someone that's nowhere near as good as he is, but also played for the same club at one point, James Rodriguez. Like James
Yeah.
Rodriguez has the line around the block. They want his signature. He's in
Yeah.
all the commercials at the time for Adidas.
Yeah.
Luka Modric, I mean, he's lucky if he gets a commercial with Nestle. It's like no one really wants to
Yeah.
look at him.
But I also don't think he wants that.
He,
I think he just
yeah,
wants
that's
to play football, go to his family after that, see them on the pitch, see them after, whatever.
yeah,
That's kind of what he's
yeah.
into.
But yeah, I mean that's just how I see it. Also, the other thing I would say is like these teams, like because there is no superstar and like they're not like their cultures. At least my perception of their cultures is like it's not about being number one or being a superstar. It's just about like winning. So it's like they all
Yeah.
play with a common goal. Like we're gonna do everything we can to win. And then like you take that with some of the natural raw talent, with some of the non-superstars like your Modric and your Perisic's and your Kovacic's and all those guys. It's like, I mean, all of a sudden it starts to make sense how they're
Yeah.
making it to finals and semifinals and quarterfinals and they're all over 30. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's you bring up a good point because I also told Grace, I was like, they know how to play together. They're probably the most complete. I mean, maybe aside from France, but they're probably the most complete unit as a team.
yeah.
Um, and something to your point is like when we were in Croatia, I don't know if you saw it. Did you go to Zagreb or were we just in Dubrovnik?
Nah, just Dubrovnik.
Okay, so when we were in Croatia, when we were flew in to Zagreb, like, and then to get to the hotel, we took a car, obviously. And you know how, like in Paris, you see a massive mural of Mbappe, or in Argentina, there's a huge mural of Maradona or of just Messi. The only murals I saw that had to do with Croatian football, it wasn't a Modric, it was the three of them. It was always like three players on the side of buildings. It wasn't
Yeah,
just one Croatian player. It was like three to five of, so from what I saw, obviously I could have missed the massive mural of Modric's face. But all I saw was like a
Yeah.
trio of Croatian talent on these buildings, and that kind of, like you said, it just explains, it kind of sums up who they are and how they play. They're a really great team. They play well together, and they got a lot of wisdom in them. So you asked me if I was worried about Croatia, and like I've been worried about literally every team except for Saudi Arabia, for Argentina. Obviously, those who don't know, I'm Argentinian. But anyway, the only one team I wasn't worried about was the team that gave us the most amount of trouble. Obviously,
The Kingdoms.
the Kingdom. So I am worried, but I'm also like, I kind of go back and forth because I'm like, well, they can't. It's not that they can't score; it's that they don't put in a ton of goals. I think maybe their first round they had a 4-goal game. Other than that, it's like a 1 or 0, and then they win
Yeah.
on penalties.
Yeah.
I don't want to be nervous. I wasted my whole week being nervous about the Netherlands and about Mexico before that, and Poland, and then Mexico before that. So I kind of feel about Croatia how I felt about Poland. I'm like, oh, they're good, they're dangerous, but Argentina, in my opinion, should be and is the better team, and they will go through. So that's how I feel about Croatia.
I mean, here's the messed up part, right?
Mm.
When do yellow cards reset? Yellow cards reset in the semis, right? Do they reset in the
So
semis?
I'm
Or
gonna.
did
So
they
are
reset
we?
in the quarters?
No, they don't reset. So Marcos Acuna is out against Croatia,
Yikes.
which is just the dumbest rule. I think why does it even exist? There's like 8 games. What's the point?
Oh yeah. Yeah, like
So I don't think they
discipline
reset
in
till
a
the
tournament.
finals, if we want to look that up or whatever. But yeah, what were you going to bring up?
Well, I just the fact that there were so many citations in the game. I was wondering if that would
The
have
Argentina
a
game?
bearing. Yeah, yeah, the Argentina Dutch game. If
Yeah.
that would have any implications. I guess you said Acuna, but if there would be any other implications for the team that's available for selection
As far
for
as I
the
know, the
Croatian
only
game.
one that's not playing on both sides, if we're talking Croatia, Argentina, is Acuna,
Okay. All right.
which is not good for Argentina.
Okay. Well, let's take a step back. What are your thoughts about the officiating of the game where there were so many cards that could have possibly? I mean, Denzel Dumfries ended up with 2 yellows. There could have easily been some Argentines that also got second yellows or straight reds, possibly. And do you blame the referee? Did he lose control of the
Yes.
game, or was this just
Yeah, he never had control
national
at the
pride at
beginning.
its highest? Okay.
No, he never
Didn't
had
have
control to begin
Okay.
with. So I also, obviously, when Messi speaks his mind like that, you got to think, okay, there's probably some truth to this. Like, it's a Spanish referee. He's had him in La Liga for his whole career or whatever. The dude just didn't have control of the game when is what it all comes down to. You saw that in a lot of examples. Most, like, my biggest thing that I'm going to is like when. So are we moving on to Argentina? By the way, is that what we're doing right now?
Sure. Let's talk
Okay.
about
Obviously, when Paredes kicks the ball out of play, then the whole Dutch squad runs off the bench onto the field. It was a horrible. This dude did not know how to control the game. He couldn't keep the game in check. Couldn't keep the players in check. He was making terrible calls. Both squads. You rarely hear that both squads are unhappy with the ref, which is crazy because usually you'd think though he's favoring one or the other. Obviously, I thought he was favoring the Netherlands. Like, there were a couple times when I was like, "This, I've never seen anything this unbelievably ridiculous." For example, when the dude that scored 2 goals, Wout Weghorst or whatever, I think after the
Yeah.
first, maybe the second Dutch goal, the Argentina have the kickoff, and this dude just comes straight line to Messi, like hits him in the stomach. Messi falls over. Nothing happens. It was a foul. It wasn't a card. It wasn't anything. Should be like, if you come to attack one person, that's a card every time. This dude just let everything go, and so he gave Messi a yellow for saying something during a free kick. So it was weird. Yeah, there definitely could have been more than one red. For example, the kid Timber got a yellow card in like the 40th minute for something pretty, not crazy,
the
but he had,
defender.
yeah, for the Netherlands. And he came back with being more and more and more like advertent, like he was just coming for people. And every single time I'm like, that's a second yellow, that's a second yellow. The ref was just like, hey, come talk to me. Come talk to me. Like he never, yeah, he just got off easy. So yeah, there could have been the only red card wasn't handed out till after the game was finished. Like, no, this dude was
Yeah.
out of his league. Out of his league. And they sent him
Shame on
home.
him. Shame on him. Yeah. 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 I mean, I'm at least glad. Like I was telling you off screen, after the second Argentina goal, I had essentially stopped watching the game, so I didn't see where it
Yeah.
got the most bad. But I like that the whatever the committee is at the World Cup, it made a decision to send a ref home, who realistically probably didn't have a shot at reffing one of the remaining 6 games, but
No.
still make a statement, send him home. Appease. I mean, his I would wager to say that the way he reffed the game probably had huge implications on who won the game. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, unless like those
they
obviously
solved
that
it
was a
them.
clear yeah. I don't know, that was a clear foul to get a penalty for Argentina, and then Messi's no look pass to Molina for the first goal. So I mean, two
That was
nothing, you
hard.
know.
That was hard. That
That
pass was
was
hard.
yeah.
That pass was hard, man. That pass was hard.
And then 10 minutes of extra time, and that foul doesn't get called to the 11th minute of extra. It was just like it just seemed. Obviously, I'm biased. I am biased, and I can be the first one to admit that. But it did seem that he wanted that game to tilt the other direction. I haven't seen 10 minutes in the World Cup yet. I've seen a lot of extra time. They've been given a lot of extra time, but 10 minutes, and then it went another few minutes after that. Like this, come on. That just,
Nah, bro,
just, just
they did that in the first game though, but there was also because of a concussion.
there was,
They
but there
did.
was, yeah, there was a reason for it.
There's a concussion. Okay. All right, man.
So
Well, I mean, you're biased. You're upset, but
no, I'm not upset. I want to clear that up.
This.
I just want to say
Okay,
I'm
because your
happy.
team won. Your team won,
Yeah.
so they live to see another day. They'll be playing the Croatians, and tomorrow. So
Tomorrow.
we will be watching that game very closely. Um, there was another quarterfinal, right? There's another quarterfinal. England versus France. I told you. I told a lot of people. A lot of people asked me, Blaine, what are you gonna do? And I said, listen to me.
Yes, for everyone that doesn't know, Blaine is by citizen. He is a British citizen.
Yes, I
He's
am.
British.
I am biased. I'm biased.
English.
But I said to everybody, listen, English boys don't stand a chance. I said it. I said it breaks my heart to say this. I got text receipts. They don't stand a chance. They're gonna get hurt. I just don't want them to get humiliated. Everyone's getting hurt. Just please don't humiliate them. They humiliated them. They
Really humiliate them though?
They did. Let me tell you why.
Or did they humiliate themselves? Did they play themselves?
Let me tell you why I feel like France did.
All right.
So first off, young boy gets up, shows him how to score a screamer outside the box. That hurt. That hurt everybody's feelings. Chouameni hurt everyone's feelings. That hurt me. I turned it off for a few minutes. Then
No, you did not.
I turned it off for a few minutes. I come back. Right? Harry Kane, the same dude, Chouameni fouls Harry Kane in the box. They're like, we want to make this interesting. I'm gonna score a goal, and I'm gonna give you guys the opportunity to score a goal. I'm like, dang, they messing with us. That's mind games. It's mind games. A little bit more time rolls around. Antoine Griezmann playing center back, midfielder, attacking midfielder, winger, striker, serves the ball to Olivier Giroud. Bam, 2-1. What's gonna happen next? How's England gonna respond? Okay, you guys are playing good. We're going to give you something for your good play. You playing real good, good possession. Locking down Mbappe, Dembele can't really figure it out. You know what I mean? Giroud's, most of his shots are off target. Okay, cool. We'll give you another penalty. We'll make this interesting. All these other high-profile games have been going to shootouts. We want a shootout. We can beat you in a shootout. We want a shootout. We're going to give you another opportunity here. Insert Harry Kane, serial loser. Never won nothing in his entire life.
Serial loser. That's true.
They said, nah, They said, nah, let Phil Foden take the shot. You know what I mean? Let Rashford take the shot. Heck, let Harry Maguire take the shot. We know Harry Kane. Nah,
Even
nah.
Bukayo Saka, who won the first penalty, he should have taken that shot.
Or yeah, let Saka, let the British Player of the Year take the shot. Nah, I'm the captain. I'm taking the shot. We all knew. I knew
Yeah,
he was
there
gonna
was no
miss it.
question. Oh,
He's
you
done
did?
nothing in his life. He's done nothing in his life but lose and choke. I support Harry Kane heavily when he plays for England, but you got to know your own weakness. Everybody knew that was going to happen. He didn't even hit. Hugo Lloris plays against him at the club level. He knew. He knew he didn't even have to move. He knew he didn't have to move.
Yeah.
He didn't go left. He didn't go right. He went above the bar and out of the stadium. How does that happen? How did that happen? How does that happen? You supposed to be the best striker in the world? How does that happen? At least make him save it. Other dudes missing penalties, at least hitting the woodwork or making the keeper put a glove on it. Give yourself a chance. No. He blasted that thing out of Qatar, man. That thing's in the Gulf somewhere floating. I had tears in my eyes. I was in disbelief. I said, I don't want to go out like this. I said, I don't want to go out like this. This is embarrassing. Like, at least take it to a shootout, you know? It's like you go to a shootout. You like, we took it there. We took it to the line. It was a fair competition. Nah, he couldn't even put the ball on frame. It's the Euros. It's the Euros all over again. I can't help myself, man. I was in tears. I was making fun of Luis Suarez. Here I am on the beach with tears in my eyes. It was so sad. It was so sad. Can you imagine how I felt? Imagine how you would feel if Messi walked up. Imagine this. It's like the 89th minute. The score is 2-1. Argentina's down 1. It's the final. Lionel Messi comes up and shoots the ball out of the stadium. How
Well,
would you feel?
that happened in 2016. I guess it was called the Gold. It's the Copa, but it was also merged with the Gold Cup when they did it in the States, and they had like CONCACAF and
Oh, the
CONMEBOL.
Centenario?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
He
right.
kept he stepped up against. I guess it was Chile. People
Ospina?
say, astronauts say they still see that ball flying because
Yeah,
it
that's
went
true.
so high over the bar. So I've been there
That's
ish, not
true.
in the
That's
World Cup
true.
though.
That's
And
true.
Messi
That's true.
redeemed himself since then. But yeah, I mean, I
Ro-
just it's well, go ahead.
was that a shootout or was that just like to advance? Is that just like a
That was a
penalty and no one
shootout.
play? All right, so there's a little bit more. I give him a little bit more forgiveness there,
Okay.
but the fact remains. Okay, fine. But yeah,
No, you're right.
he. But
Like,
but
for
it
example, had
also
Messi missed that penalty against the Netherlands, we would be talking about the same thing.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Not saying that the Copa doesn't count, but also he it hurt then he's redeemed himself.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Let's call a spade a spade. England
Yeah.
is not going to redeem themselves, or at
No,
least
and that's
Harry
the
Kane
thing.
will not redeem himself while playing for
No.
England.
No, because he's old, right? How old is he now? Harry Kane. Let
He's
me look
at
this up.
least like 31 probably at this point.
Moves like he's 61. He's 29 years old. He had no business being only 29 years old and playing how
Oh, he's
and
only 29. Okay,
yeah.
shout out Harry
So
Kane for still being young.
I think that obviously I was talking to my friends like, yo, Saka should be taking this because he won the penalty. He's got all of the he's I to me what it looked like was that one of my friends sent me a video, I don't know if I sent it to you, of Daniel Kaluuya on that barbershop show that LeBron does.
Yeah.
And he was on there with Marcus Rashford. They were talking about the incident at the Euros. So, fast forward, it just felt like one of my friends was like, it felt like they were trying to just make Harry Kane, make him the golden boy. Because he didn't have a good tournament. I think that everyone out there can be like, yo, the best players for England were Jude Bellingham and Saka.
Oh, hands down, it was Jude.
And so one of them, I feel like, with the way they were playing, with the confidence they had, should have been taken
I
taking
mean,
that.
I'll tell you the truth. If I was Southgate, and it's easy to coach from a beach
Yeah, yeah,
chair,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it would have either been Phil Foden, Bukayo Saka, or Marcus Rashford. One of those three is taking the second penalty. They could flip a coin. I would have either three of them. That's it. And if
For me,
they
it
were
would have been
like,
Foden or Saka. I just don't. I think that Marcus Rashford has had a great tournament, but I still don't think his confidence is up there yet. He kind of made it by the skin of his teeth a little bit. Didn't have a great last couple seasons. So Bukayo Saka has been the man, like the man
man, there's no
everywhere,
doubt.
club and country.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, he's the English player of the English player of the year. There's no debate.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no debate. No one's debating that Bukayo Saka is the man.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
There is no debate.
But
it's
for that
it,
reason
it
alone, give him the
it's a
penalty.
formality. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Then yeah, we could settle on that, and I'm okay with that.
Phil
Like
Foden too, though. I mean, that guy's got ice cold veins.
Phil Foden's also the man. I know you don't like him,
Yeah.
but he's also the man.
No, just this is antics outside of the off the field. I'm like,
Yeah, I
come
know.
on, you're a
I
family
know.
man now. You're a family
Yeah,
man.
yeah. He had his boy. He has his son out in Qatar though. That boy
Yeah,
got a
that's good.
head on him. He got a big head baby. I like Phil Foden. Phil Foden's my man though. I like them all, dude. Anyway,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
all. I
yeah,
don't.
yeah.
Well, there's nothing else to say. Let's look forward. Let's look past that. The
Well, one
quarterfinals.
question, one question.
Okay,
So, well, two questions. Do you really? So you think England was outplayed?
no, they weren't outplayed.
Because
They
a
were
lot of pundits
embarrassed.
are like, France, England played the better. England played better. They looked better.
Yeah,
Do you agree to that?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I do. Yeah, I honestly feel like England looked like the better team. I feel
Okay.
like they had more chances. They were on the ball more.
Yeah.
They looked like they could have went and got it, but they just couldn't finish, and ultimately they were embarrassed. I mean, it's
Did you
embarrassing.
see
It,
weaknesses in France open up? Any weaknesses, or just didn't play
I
well?
mean, I mean, Tio Hernandez and Aurelian Chouameni made some questionable decisions when they were playing defense.
Yeah.
Um, that's probably it. I mean, Kyle
Yeah.
Walker on Mbappe. Let's be honest. I mean, Kyle Walker is he's a full grown man that
Yeah.
had a point to prove, and he's one of the best. Some people might say is
Yeah.
the best in his
And he
position.
needed to come back from injury too. So who if he had a little bit more time,
Yeah,
maybe he knew better. But he did do great against him. I will say the only thing, and it wasn't his fault, wasn't Kyle Walker's fault, but on that first goal, it started with Mbappe. Kyle Walker had him, but then Jude Bellingham came over. I can't remember who else came over. Maybe Jordan Henderson. They had like three guys on him, which
yeah,
obviously freed up. I think it was Griezmann that then assisted it to Chouameni.
yeah, yeah.
So Kyle Walker can't. I mean, that was no fault to Kyle Walker. That's just you have to overcompensate for Mbappe because that's how good he is. But freed
Yeah,
up some other
but
guys that made that goal happen.
and the thing is, I mean, realistically, no one thought. I mean, I feel like no one thought there was even a chance that Chouameni was going to take that shot.
I had
Furthermore,
no
that it was
idea he
going
could
to be
shoot
on
like that.
target.
I
Yeah,
had
but
no
no one
idea.
was expecting that. No one was expecting that. Like that's like remember like when like someone like remember when Vincent Company played for Man City and he
Yeah,
like brought the ball up and like banged one in from like midfield. It's
yeah,
like no one's expecting that. So like the goalkeeper's not even like
yeah,
considering planting himself. So it's like, oh, there's a shot, there's a goal. Like there's it's kind of like, or even like, was it Enzo from Argentina that had that ball against
yeah.
Mexico? It's like no one's expecting. Like there's nothing you can do. Like he shot the ball early. You'd even think he knew how to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a
Yeah, I
pro.
want to
He
call
knows how to
everyone up
shoot
in
it.
Madrid and be like, yo, did you know he can do this? Because this came,
Nah,
for me, it came out of nowhere. I was like,
yeah,
wow. That was an
yeah,
amazing strike, though.
yeah. So it's like to do that. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that embarrass you. It's like I feel like they
Yeah.
embarrassed them the same way Morocco embarrassed Portugal. It's like you might have been the better team or you might have played better, but like they caught you with your pants down twice, and then also got you to embarrass yourself by completely missing a penalty.
So
That's
let's go to
all that anyone's
Portugal
going to
then.
remember. Okay.
So did you watch that whole game?
Portugal Morocco. I watched enough of it. I don't. I'll be honest with you. I don't remember. I watched. I saw the goal. I saw the goal.
A great
Um.
header.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't. like I don't remember enough about the game to give like
Yeah.
an analysis or anything. I just
Yeah.
know, I mean, the facts. They got a goal in and they defended like bosses, and maybe the Portuguese coach. I mean, I'll say
Did he
this.
get it right or did he get it wrong? Because Cancelo was on the bench and Ronaldo was on the bench.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like I personally would have to say he got it wrong.
Okay.
I mean, just I mean, yeah, you bring your Benfica boy in, and he gets a hat trick in the previous game. And that's beautiful. But I feel like I don't know, like I feel like there's like like it's tournament soccer or football or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, someone could come in and get a hat trick. It's like remember when Europe won the Euro? The kid that
Europe won the
scored the
Euro.
or no, Portugal. The year
Oh, yeah,
Portugal
yeah,
won the
yeah.
Euros. The kid that scored the goal in the final, I
Yeah.
think his name's Eater or something like that.
Yeah.
He's not a pro, he's a pro, but he's not like he's respectfully he's a nobody. And because he scored a game winner in a final doesn't necessarily mean he's your best striker or your best or what I don't even know what position he played, It's like, oh yeah, like we're gonna start this guy against our next opposition. No. Like you gotta
Yeah.
I feel like you gotta use some common sense and like what okay, so like Ronaldo didn't start, this kid gets a hat trick. Okay, cool. That's great. We know he can do that now if the situation calls for it or if the circumstances are right. But like if you want your best chance in a game against Morocco, maybe give him 45 and give Ronaldo the other 45. But like, I mean, I don't know. I'm just and then Cancelo. I mean, I personally feel like he took a gamble trying to prove a point. It blew up in everybody's face. I mean,
So
I
here's, go ahead.
go. No, I was just gonna say. I would say if you probably asked all the players on the Portugal team who they would have rather had start the game, they probably would have said Ronaldo. That's just my
Okay.
hunch, especially against a team like Morocco, where it's like I guess a lot of people these days would say like, oh yeah, like Ronaldo can only score against like lesser opposition. Well, maybe no disrespect to Morocco, but in a situation like this, maybe he could have thrived because maybe it is a less. I mean, for their Seiss, their center back, he got injured. He won't be playing against France. Like that's major,
Yeah.
right? So I mean I don't know. My official position is Portugal got it
Coach got
wrong.
it wrong.
Coach got it
So,
wrong.
because you bring up a good point that when they won the Euros, who was not in the squad?
He was
Ronaldo.
injured. He
Yeah.
was out. He was injured though.
So they won that without him.
Yeah.
He's still, which is crazy, and I always have to, even before I'm about to talk to you about this with anyone, I always Google it because I'm like, nah, this can't be true. He still never scored a goal in a knockout round of a World Cup ever in 5 World Cups.
Yeah, he's never done it. He's never done it.
And he did not look good in like the last couple times he's played in this World Cup. I mean, and also the last a couple nights ago when he played Saturday versus Morocco, his touches were stray. He didn't have like speed anymore. It was almost a sad thing to see. But so I kind of for that reason I'm like, okay, I think the coach didn't get it wrong. But to your point, potentially the last game ever for him, the absolute all-time like difference maker when it counts and when he's needed for club and country. He's always been there in Champions League, in the league. So yeah, maybe you put him on. I think he shouldn't have started. I think that for me that was the right choice. But when you know that you're still not getting a goal and all you need is another goal, and it's probably going to go into penalties, yeah, put him in, but put him in earlier. I think he waited to the 70-something minute.
Put him in at 50. Put him
Yeah,
in at
so
45.
put
Put him
him in
in on the
earlier.
half.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I don't think he got it wrong as far
he
as
got it
not
wrong.
starting him.
Yeah, he got it wrong.
I think that they are a better team without him um, now, and I mean this doesn't help, but they need to start playing without learning how to play without him.
I mean, this is what I'll say. I disagree, and we will
Mm.
see. Time will tell.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
we
yeah.
we 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 can see what their record has been since 2004. up until 2022. Post Ronaldo, we can see if Portugal is,
Yeah.
if they can achieve anything, or if they are a force to be reckoned with, or whatever it may be. And
Yeah, but you
I
got to
mean,
give those young kids credit. Like Leao is amazing. Like, and he should have been starting over Ronaldo, in my opinion, the whole time. The
oh,
AC Milan
oh,
boy.
that's a completely different question. That's a
Yeah, but
completely
I mean,
different
he's
thing.
gonna. I think that he can help them. Obviously, like we're gonna lose Ronaldo, but you're gonna bring in. There's a lot of young Portuguese talent right now. That I mean, probably credit to Ronaldo. Like, that this is all young kids that are coming up trying to take the throne or whatever. Carry it on without him. Now that he's gonna probably be leaving the national team, no?
Yeah, he'll leave. I think he
Yeah.
posted on Instagram that he's leaving or something. I don't remember. I can't
Uh,
remember. But
I don't
yeah,
think
I mean,
Leao
there's
got
all.
enough playing time.
No, I agree.
That's
Rafael
how on
Leao
my thing. Like, yeah,
didn't get enough playing time,
yeah, totally.
but but I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say what I say. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. I think
Okay.
the coach got it wrong. If you got a guy
Yeah.
that that is known for doing one thing and is still capable of doing that thing, and then
Yeah.
so like for example, to say, all right, it's like. Yeah, I mean, I'm not in the team. I can't say for sure,
Someone
but
drumming up on the mic.
huh?
Your hood. Okay, got it.
Um, if if they can't if they feel like they can't win, it's like it's the circumstance. It's like, okay, for example, okay, in the Euros they won, he was injured, he was not able to finish the game,
Right.
but they won. Okay, that I mean, I feel like that's kind of like saying, like, if a guy that's like saying like a guy that didn't score a goal in a competition or didn't contribute to a goal. It's like, yeah, that person may as well have been replaced with 18-year-old, left winger that, also wouldn't have contributed. Or also saying like the guy that did score is like the superstar. It's like, I don't necessarily buy it. I
Yeah.
think I think it's unfortunate with Ronaldo. There's the
Right.
conversations around him. He is obviously getting older.
Right.
Um, but I still think he would be a better choice in a knockout game. I mean, because when it boils down to it, like
Even with 0 goals ever in his career in a knockout game, even with that, right?
I mean, up until this World Cup, Lewandowski had 0 World Cup goals. These are
Yeah, and he's
stats.
leaving with one.
He's
But
leaving with
yeah, yeah,
two.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
two.
he's leaving
Okay.
with two. He got two of them. Two penalties. He missed it, but then he got it. Um, yeah, but I mean, I think these are also circumstantial. It's like I can't I don't know every single knockout game that Ronaldo had played in 5 World Cups, and you know
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah.
but at the same time, like the majority of players, best player, former best player, not don't have goals in the World Cup, let alone in the knockouts. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like most of the time Portugal was only playing in one knockout game, and they were getting knocked out of the tournament in said knockout game. It's not like let's not pretend
Yeah.
like Portugal's been like a superpower in European football. Like
Yeah.
they've been
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
C tier, B tier at best. They've never had a legitimate, like, I put Portugal, like, okay, there's the Ronaldo boost, but like they've never been seen as like a real contender. I mean, I don't think I could honestly say that anyone's ever like had them as a
I don't think so
favorite to
either.
win anything
Yeah.
in Europe. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's like, I kind of put it like this, like, okay, if people were to say Robert Lewandowski is supposed to be the best or one of the best older strikers, and he plays on a team that can make it to the World Cup. I mean, let's be honest about it. Poland is inferior to Portugal in terms of talent, but to say one of them didn't have any goals in the World Cup until this year, and the other one doesn't have any in the knockout stage, it's like, okay, well, like, we just got to think about it. Like, if these players played on teams that were possibly better, maybe the circumstances would be different. I don't. I just feel like it's a little bit harsh to like say that for that reason they probably could not have performed it. And I think, given the circumstances that the opposition was Morocco, he could have got a knockout goal had he had a solid 45 minutes to run on. But we'll never know. We'll never know.
Yeah. I'm gonna just see when they brought him in. They brought him in the. I guess I don't. It doesn't say when they brought him in.
Yeah, I'm sure he figure it out.
But anyway, yeah, it's over. He's over. It's gone.
Yeah.
I think that he made the right decision by not starting him, and that's okay that we differ.
So I mean, we could look. I mean, say, God willing, Argentina makes it to the final.
Right.
Okay. If Messi doesn't score,
it's been one final.
But are the headlines going to read? I mean,
yeah, they probably will. It'll probably be Messi still not scored
in a final.
In a final, yeah.
But would that be fair? But would that be fair? It would be true. It would be true.
I don't think it's fair or wrong. It's like it's true. Like I will be mad. Hey, be the first one to tell you in 2014. We would not even be talking about this if it wasn't for Higuain, if he could have put one of his chances in the net, But the fact is, Messi didn't score. Argentina didn't score. And so the reason people still say that it's Messi is not, he can't perform under that much pressure or he throws up all the time. Like, these are all facts. And if he doesn't score, if they do get to the final again, the unfortunate fact will be, as great as he is, he had 2 chances to score in a final and he didn't. Hopefully that's not what we talk about in a week's time or whatever. But yeah.
But does it really mean anything? Because it's a team game, and he's playing a part. Like has he scored in a Copa America final? I mean,
yeah. So specifically, it's different. If you really want to get down to now you're bringing in Messi, that Messi, especially in this, then don't take offense to this, and all those Ronaldo fans out here. Messi does more than sitting there and poaching goals like Ronaldo, especially at this point in his career and his age. Messi creates more, he assists more, he drops back and pulls the ball up more. These are all things that are just not goal related. Whereas right now, especially now, in my opinion, in Ronaldo's career, he's there to
finish,
to put in some goals. Yeah, he's not going to create. He's not going to find the open man. He's not going to have a no-look assist. He's not going to really draw as many defenders as Messi still does. So it will be said. But
that's not the conversation. That's not the conversation. They're not if they're having an honest conversation, the conversation would be Ronaldo has never had a shot on goal or a shot on target. What the purpose of those headlines is to make it sound like he is obsolete when it comes to knockout World Cup football. That's the purpose.
And he's never scored. Honestly, he is so far, is he not? He's obsolete.
But
because Messi hadn't scored until this year in a World Cup knockout. Mbappe had. In his first one ever.
But what I'm saying is that doesn't make Messi obsolete. When Argentina progressed.
No, and I'm saying you're right because he's the one who got those goals, gets them those goals, whereas Ronaldo doesn't do that.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you who got the assists.
No, but I can.
Who did he assist?
Well, Messi just assisted Molina Friday.
No, I'm talking about in 2000 when they made it to the final. That's what I'm talking about.
No one scored in the final. That's what I'm saying.
No, in the
he
knockout,
had an assist
in the
Higuain
knockouts
that didn't get through, and Aguero.
I don't know. In the knockouts, what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is for them to say a headline. I feel like that would be disingenuous to say Messi has not scored in a knockout stage during that situation. It's okay, well, he did a bunch of other stuff. And it's they don't care about the other stuff. The purpose of the headline is to embarrass the player.
Yeah, totally.
And to make them seem obsolete. And it's okay, I think anyone would agree, if a striker doesn't score in a game, that doesn't mean they're obsolete. They could have made runs. The defender might have, they could have had shots. Maybe the shots were blocked. Maybe they were worldly, like there's a lot of things that go into it. So it's like you can't just say the player is obsolete. Because like by saying that, it's like every player that hasn't scored, every attacking player that hasn't scored in a knockout stage of a World Cup, God forbid a final, you're saying that player is obsolete. And I don't I don't think that's fair. I mean, it's a stat. It's a fact.
Yeah, but you're also calling Harry Kane useless for missing his penalty. So, like, it is.
I said he's a serial choker, and we knew that he would miss the penalty. That's what I said. I knew. We all knew. There's historical data that said, like, I'm not saying that Harry Kane shouldn't have been on the field because I think that he's an asset to England. I'm just saying when there's a second penalty and the game is on the line, somebody else should take the penalty. That's all I'm saying. I think Harry Kane adds a lot of value to the English team playing in the number 9 role. Sometimes he'll get an assist. Sometimes he'll distract other defenders when he's making a run so that Saka or someone else can go the opposite way and score a goal. So I think he adds a lot of value, just not.
I disagree. I think that they could have a different number 9 out there and they'd have a equally or a better result. That's how lowly I rate Harry Kane in that England squad. I think that Ivan Toney, for example, or Tammy Abraham, like I feel like that would have been more dangerous. Tammy Abraham can get up, he can do headers. He's like, I think that Harry Kane is just what he's doing lately. And I know we're not talking about Harry Kane. The one thing that I'm rating him in higher than I ever have lately is what strikers shouldn't be doing. He's dropping way deep to get that ball and advance it up the field, which I'm like, you have 4 other players around you that are built to be doing that. Stay in your little pocket.
No, what? I have no problem. I have no problem. I mean, what they're doing, it works. Like what Harry Kane is doing for England works for England.
Does it? But that's what I'm saying. Like they could have someone else that I think would be better.
Well, it's like England hasn't finished. For example, England didn't finish in the Euros not because Harry Kane wasn't doing his job. Not because it's not like they lost the Euro final against Italy because of Harry Kane. Like he was a part of the team.
No,
he did his part.
No one's ever going to take his. I'm just kind of playing this like this adversarial role right now in saying maybe if you had a different striker in there, it wouldn't have gone to penalties.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can do that with any. You can do that with every player.
Hey, I'm doing it with Harry Kane because I don't rate him. I think that he should not have been the one to take the penalty. I think that I just don't think he's that good. He can't move. He can't move without the ball. It just to me, he's not worth having in that squad when you've got a much younger side. But I don't think Kellen Wilson should have been the backup. I think that there were other options outside of England and inside of England that were better than that.
Okay, so you say Ivan Toney, like he's a baller. Okay, maybe let's say Ivan Toney comes to the World Cup and they do play him against France and he has, he scores a hat trick against Hugo Lloris. That is something that could have happened. There's no way we'll ever know. But I feel like most people, and I include myself in this, you don't feel like you didn't give yourself a good chance by playing the team that you played. My only criticism is that he shouldn't have taken the penalty. That's my only criticism, is that I knew he would miss the penalty.
I have a lot more criticism for him than that.
That's it.
But I agree.
That's it. That's the only criticism. And similarly with Ronaldo, I'm saying my only criticism is that he didn't finish those chances. But I don't think that necessarily makes the player obsolete, because I'm saying if that's the standard we're setting, we have to say every other player, regardless of their output, if they don't get the result, that player is also obsolete. It doesn't matter how much you drop back, how many passes you play, how many dribbles you make. If you can't put the ball in the back of the net or assist another player to do so, you're obsolete, and we should find someone else to replace you, because it's obvious, it's clear that you are not the best. Because if you were the best, you would have scored. And then you look at a kid from Morocco, and you see that guy right there, he's the best. You look at a winger on the Croatia team, you say, that guy's the best, because guess what? That guy got a goal in a knockout stage. That guy got a goal. Guess what? Even Perisic, he got a goal in a World Cup final. Is he the best?
Yeah. No. But this is what the
Okay.
media wants you to think. Since Messi hasn't won one yet, he's not the best. Since Ronaldo didn't win one yet, he's not the best.
And I don't subscribe to that. I think
I don't either.
It's a knockout tournament. Luck's involved. There's a lot of different circumstances involved. And if you don't happen to score in a particular game or make a play in a particular game, I don't think that means that you're obsolete or you're not the best. And similarly, I feel like if you do make a play in the big game and you do score a goal, that also doesn't make you the best. Point being,
Yeah.
the kid that scored for Portugal in the Euros is not the best.
I.e., or like Olivier Giroud is the best because he's won it all.
Yeah, it's like you're a team. That team was the best, and you were a part of that team. But you, like, Olivier Giroud is not the best French striker. Okay, he has more goals, more French goals than Thierry Henry. Is he a better player than Thierry Henry? Is he a better striker? I think anybody would say no to both of those. But he might have 2 World Cups, and Thierry Henry only has 1.
Yeah.
He might have scored. And also, like, flip side. It's about optics. Olivier Giroud didn't score 1 goal in a World Cup campaign and won the World Cup. No, and he was heralded for his positioning and his blink up play and his hold up play. And he might not have even gotten an assist. But the optics are they won the World Cup, therefore he is a genius. But insert player that you don't have as much esteem for, and they do the same thing, but their team falls short. It's like, yeah, he's finished. The guy's trash. That guy can't. He can't carry my shorts. And so it just, I feel like there's like the standards that we use, and the media. And I mean, I'm not hating on the media. You got to do what you got to do to sell a newspaper. Well, I feel like it's fine. Like, I just feel like if someone knows that this headline is intentionally made to disparage a player and make them look bad, and these stats really don't have a real bearing on the ability of the player, or how good the player is, or even how well that player played in a particular game. Like, that's there, but this is the headline, and I'm okay with that. It just doesn't mean what the headline says it is trying to indicate that it means. That's all I'm saying. Because you could take the headline. You could be like, oh yeah, like, this player didn't do this once in a World Cup, and their team loses, and it's like, okay, he's a dunce. This player didn't do this once in the World Cup, but their team won. It's like, he's a genius. And it's like, well, who's really the genius? It's just the circumstances of the player and what that player did, and it's like, either it worked out or it didn't. It's like, Giroud's a genius, and I'll say that because he won the World Cup. But if France lost the World Cup, they'd be like, okay, like, they lost because they don't have a striker that can score goals. It's like, is that why they lost, or did they lose because they like let someone score on them? Or I don't know. I mean,
I just wanted to bring this up and get this out of you, really.
No, you got it. You got it out of me, because I mean, this is what I'm gonna say. I hope it doesn't happen, but God forbid Argentina makes it to the final and they don't score a goal. I honestly don't think the headlines, because Messi's a much more likable person for whatever reason.
No, they're definitely going to be headlines that say that.
I don't. Okay, then
we can put a bet on the internet right now. They're absolutely going to say Messi 2 World Cups, no goals. There's already English pundits that are like, Messi can't be the greatest in the world because he never played in England. I'm like, yo, you guys are wild. Every time he plays an English club in Champions League, he destroys you.
I mean, I'm not going to make the bet because someone could say that.
There's a lot of publications out there.
There's a lot of publications, yes, but I would just say I feel like the overwhelming sentiment will be that Messi is still a great player and he gave it his all and it just didn't work out. Whereas with a player like Ronaldo, if they make it or he's not a part of it or they don't make it, whether he was a part of it or not, the blame is solely on his shoulders. And I just feel like it's a little bit of an unfair
No, Messi gets the same
standard.
thing. Every time in Barcelona when they get beat by the Liverpools in the second knockout game or the Roma, it's always on Messi. It's like he promised them they'd win and he couldn't bring it through. He can't perform in the big game. So I think it goes both ways. But I also admittedly probably read more Messi news. You read more Ronaldo news.
So
So
you're saying the media said that Messi was obsolete.
I never said obsolete. I said that they blame it on him.
All
You've
right.
never seen this because I could pull up an article.
No, I believe you.
And
I
on
believe like
Instagram and on Twitter,
yeah,
there's all
no.
the hate about, he said this and he can't get past a six
Yeah, I
goal
mean,
lead against.
no, I believe you. I'm just saying
Uh,
I've never really seen hate for Messi the way I see hate for Ronaldo. That's all I'm saying. Is
oh,
I'm not
wow.
saying yeah, I didn't know people hated Messi. I thought everyone respected him, and I'm not
I
saying
think
they don't run
respect
in
is a
or
little bit different. Are you talking about the media
well,
or players? I mean, like
I'm talking
trolls.
about the media. I'm talking about not trolls, media, like
Yeah.
publications. Like I feel like I don't feel like a publication would come out and highlight shortcomings in Messi's career the same way they do in Ronaldo's. And if you're saying the opposite, I believe you. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I don't need to see it. I take you at your word for it. I would hate for that to happen and for someone to do such, to say that he's never scored in a final in 5 years. Like I think that would
Yeah.
be I personally think that would be disingenuous for someone to do, and I think that it would be bogus because it's like yeah, it's a team game, and it's not Messi's number one his priority shouldn't be to score a goal. His priority
Yeah.
should be to do whatever it takes to make sure Argentina wins. And
Yeah.
to shift the spotlight like, oh yeah, he didn't score. It's like, okay, now you're questioning like what his motives are.
Right.
And I just don't think that's fair because I think Ronaldo even said this. I feel like if someone had a choice to say like, would I rather be on the bench or see my national team win? The answer will be I would rather be on the bench because I want like the goal here is like, would you rather have the golden boot of the World Cup or one goal and have your team win? And everyone's going to say,
Yeah.
I'd rather have one goal and have my
Yeah, of
team win,
course.
regardless if that means I've never scored in a knockout or if I never, like
Yeah.
Higuain scores against Germany. Okay, Messi didn't score in a final. Who cares? No one
Yeah.
cares.
No one will
Literally
be talking
nobody
about that.
cares. It's the Olivier Giroud effect. He didn't score a single goal. No one cares. No one
Yeah.
they couldn't be bothered. And again, I just say they bring it up almost as a hallmark. He's so like they're so good, they don't need a striker to score goals. It's like, is that a
Here's
good
my
thing?
issue. I don't know that Argentina is good enough to have Messi not score in a final. I'm very worried if he gets to the final that they won't be able to produce.
We'll
That's what
find
I'm
out.
worried about.
I guess we'll find out. We'll find out tomorrow. Step one,
Yeah.
in the 2-part story,
Are you
Semi.
worried? Who do you think is going to win this game, Croatia or Argentina?
I can't make heads or tails of it, to be honest. I
Really?
mean if I tell you this, I wouldn't. If I'm not betting money on this game, I'm watching this game and hoping for your sake that Argentina can pull it off. But I'm not putting my own money on this game because I legitimately like. There's not like one team seems to not have lost any steam, and the other team seems to not have lost any steam. Both teams have at least one player that's capable of doing the impossible at the drop of a hat. Both of them wear the number 10. You see the balls that Luka Modric puts in the box. You've seen him do the impossible in the Champions League. You've seen them do the impossible in the World Cup. Everybody knows who Lionel Messi is. I don't need to say any more about him. That being said, this game could be decided on one goal and it could literally come out of thin air. It literally could come from their own side. So either player plays the ball, Lautaro Martinez runs onto it, and decides he wants to start finishing like he's wearing, black and blue instead of white and blue.
Yeah, because he's got to start switching the mindset.
The same could be said. Mateo Kovacic could, play a ball to Luka Modric, and he could hit a screamer from 45 yards out. It's that easy,
Modric ain't hitting no screamer from 45 yards out, though.
He's done it. He's done it from Madrid. He could do it again. I wouldn't. I wish you didn't say that. I don't want you to say that. If he hits a screamer from 40 yards out,
Perisic hitting a screamer before Modric hits a screamer.
Okay. Well, I hope you're right. I hope you're
don't.
Right. I mean, it's not likely, but also no one would have put money on Tchouaméni's hitting a screamer from 35 yards out. Like, no one would have put money on Vincent Kompany scoring a screamer from 50 yards. Like, no one puts money on these because it's not expected, but they are, like, it's a real especially in a World Cup match, it's a real possibility. Like, don't think that if Emi Martinez is off his line for 2 seconds that he won't try him. And with the precision of an archer, and possibly put it in. Like, that's a real possibility. I hope for your sake that it's not. All I'm saying is I'm not being disrespectful. They're both really good teams. They both have really big reputations. And either one, like, if Argentina wins, I'm not surprised. If Croatia wins, I'm not surprised. If France beats Morocco, I'm not surprised. However, if Morocco wins, I feel like that would be the only surprise here. That's all I'm saying.
So you don't think that either Croatia or Argentina have a little bit up on each other? If you're giving it a 51 to a 49, who would get the 51?
Well.
Really? It's that close to you? Because I know that I'm a biased person, but I still think that the true fact of the matter is Argentina is at least 2% better than Croatia.
Let's look at the odds. Don't ask me because I'm telling you I can't make heads or tails of it. What are the Las Vegas odds for the semifinal?
This dude's going to Vegas odds. Do you bet? I don't bet. I never bet before.
Yeah, but not. I've never successfully won a soccer bet.
Oh, okay.
I'm cursed.
What jersey? Will you wear a Croatia jersey? Or what jersey are you wearing tomorrow? Or no jersey?
No jersey. Yeah, no jersey. I'll be wearing this hoodie. Okay, so yeah, here are the odds. Argentina is dramatically ahead of Croatia.
Really?
Dramatically, yes.
Which I know the odds haven't meant much right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, odds don't mean much. The odds are also, a way for people to make money. But yeah, Croatia is plus 44, whereas Argentina is under 110. So,
So that means they're better odds?
Yeah, so, I'm going to get this wrong, but essentially what it means, let's just say, put it like this. Like, if you bet $10, let's just say if you bet $100 on the game and Croatia won, you would get $400. If you bet $100 on the game and Argentina won, you would get 10. I might have that a little bit wrong, but but they're that much higher. They're that much higher. Yeah, they are.
All right.
They're saying there's a better I don't know how you have a draw in a semifinal, but they're saying there's a better the number one result that they expect is Argentina, then a draw, then way after a draw, Croatia. That's Vegas. Again, I've never won a Vegas bet. So what that tells me is if I took my money and put my money on the sure thing Argentina, Croatia would win the game. Yes, that's all this tells me. So for that reason, I feel more emboldened in my position that I think it's going to be a tight game. I can't make heads or tails of it. If I had to give a slight edge, I would give the slight edge to Argentina. Not based off of the odds, just based off of the fact that there's like guys run further, they run faster. They're like the majority of the players on Argentina are younger,
right,
than players on on Croatia, and they have one Messi that has pulled a handful of miracles out of his pocket this World Cup. So that's
just this World
obviously
Cup alone,
that's obviously a factor. So
all right, and you think France obviously is going to beat Morocco?
I believe France will beat Morocco. Yes, that I feel comfortable saying. I see Morocco losing to France. Yes, or yes. Is that what's going to happen? Well, I guess we'll find out on Wednesday. But I would bet money and probably lose it that France would win. So that's also to say I wouldn't put money on the game, but I feel comfortable saying.
So, I mean, everyone going into this World Cup was talking about how this is Messi's World Cup. Argentina looks so good. They've been on this 36-7 game unbeaten streak, blah, blah, blah. But they lost the first game. They haven't looked incredible. They look good. So now, though, I'm beginning to think, okay, this is the luck we've never had. So I'm still just doing this.
Yeah.
The crystals. Yeah. All the way to, hopefully, the final.
Yeah, man, you don't need, hold the crystals, hold the fingers. You don't need anything but luck. You don't have to play good. You just have to advance. That's it. You just have to make it to the next round. So I guess we should probably end there.
It's been a long one.
Yes, we're over an hour, but we'll see. We will see. Tomorrow, is it at, well, I guess we're in a completely different time.
20.
Okay, it's at 2000, and I think for me, I want to say it's at 8, but I honestly don't remember because I was in Miami.
So it would be 9-hour difference.
Listen, I'm not even going to pretend that I'm in the position to do that math. The game's at noon.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess yeah. So
8 hours difference, not
8 hours
difference, California.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah.
Woo! I'm already nervous, man. I'm already starting to shake. My hands are getting sweaty and cold.
Well, have a drink. Of Ovaltine. Yeah, or of yerba mate, not Ovaltine. I was watching A Christmas Story. Anyway, all right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you're still with us to this point, we appreciate you. And the next episode we record will be, let's plan on doing one Saturday right before the final. And then we'll do a recap after the final.
What time do you want to do this at? Because I'll be there if you want to.
You'll just do it same time, around the same time. We'll just do it.
Because I fly to Switzerland like at 6 p.m.
Oh, bro, that's right. I forgot.
So I could do it in the lounge. I could do it before that. I thought the 17th.
Dang. Okay.
Wait, that's the game. That's the
consolation game.
So 18th is the final.
18th is the final. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So you'll be in Swiss. Maybe we just do it when you get back. You'll be doing.
Nah, we could do it before. I'm ready.
Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll let you guys know, but we'll figure it out. Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.